the digital era, whenever you took a photograph, they used to have those manual cameras, and you will have to buy a film roll, put it in the camera, and then after you have finished taking your pictures, you will take that roll to a studio, and the guy who is at the studio will masterfully develop some pictures out of that film roll, the pictures that you took, but he will have to take that film roll into a dark room, and because the film roll could only be developed in the dark, then you will get your beautiful pictures. Friends, I have discovered that in God's economy and in God's way of doing things, He does His best work in the dark. Allow me to just speak to you for a few minutes on what I've entitled Light from the Darkness. My name is Jesse Mwai, a pastor with Christ is the Answer Ministries, and what a joy it is to always come into your space and spend a few moments with you as I challenge you in one way or the other. Light from the darkness. God does His best work, His masterful work in the dark. Every one of us, all of us, no matter how old, no matter what status, or whether you're educated or not, or where you come from, will always go through seasons of darkness. There is nobody who is immune from going through seasons of trials, pain, frustration. And many times you'll go through such a dark season and you will wonder, where is the light? What is going to happen? Am I going to come out of this thing alive? What's going to happen to my life? What's going to happen to my family? What's going to happen to my business? What's going to happen to my education? Maybe you've lost a job. Maybe it's the loss of your health. It could be the loss of a relationship. We all go through seasons of such darkness. And I'm reminded of the Apostle Paul while he was out in the sea and then traveling, and they were hit by such a violent storm that they could not tell the night from the day. It was so dark, pitch dark. They're out there in the sea, right in the middle of a storm. And maybe you're there listening to me and you're saying, I'm actually right there in the middle of a storm. If it's not this, it is the other. If it's not that, it is the next thing. I don't even know what I'll wake up to tomorrow morning. I want to remind you, I want to tell you this, that whenever we go through those kind of storms, those dark spaces, those dark seasons, God is at work. Difficult to believe, I know. And especially when you cannot trace God in those situations, when you cannot trace Him in the things that you're going through, believe me, He's at work. He has not left you. He has not abandoned you. He has not forsaken you. Because God does His best work in our lives, in us, in dark spaces. He's developing something out of you. He's developing character out of you. He's developing leadership out of you. He's developing compassion out of you, kindness. He's developing the fruit of the Spirit out of you. But He does so in the dark spaces of life, because it is in those dark places that we find ourselves crying in desperation for God. Have you ever found yourself sometimes so desperate just to hear God, just to feel God, just for Him to touch you? That's a dark space, and God does His best work in dark spaces. So here's my word to you. If you are going through a trial, if you're going through a situation, if you find yourself in a dark space where you cannot tell right from left, hang in there. Hold on. Please don't throw in the towel. While we are going through those dark spaces, that's not the time to make permanent decisions, because that situation is not permanent. You are just passing through. Keep waiting. Keep hoping on the Lord. While you're in that dark space, allow God, surrender and yield to whatever He wants you to do. Is it forgiveness He's asking you? Maybe He's asking you to go and forgive somebody. Is it a reconciliation He's asking you? Or maybe He's asking you to give up certain things in your life. He's trying to draw you out of certain places, certain habits, or certain relationships. Please allow Him. Let Him allow Him to do His best work inside of you. And when you get out of that dark space, out of that dark room, you will be blessed. You will be amazed at what He will have done in your life, because He brings beauty out of ashes, light out of darkness. God does His best work in the dark spaces and in the dark situations of our lives. If this has blessed you, please share it with a friend or two, and may the Lord bless you, and may the Lord keep you strong even in your dark season. Amen.